Recording in progress.
Hello and welcome to the Parks and Rec Commission meeting for May 4th, 2023. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let's do a roll call.
Commissioner Butch?
Yes.
Your microphone.
Yes.
Commissioner Swamy?
Present.
Commissioner Begor?
Yes.
Vice Chair Sharon?
Yes.
And Chair Stanek.
Yes. Okay, moving to ceremonial matters and presentations. Item number 1 on the agenda is an update on the fiscal year 2022-23 city work program item, intergenerational engagement.
Yes, and I would like to introduce Alex Greer. He's our recreation manager at the Senior Center.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. I'm here today to give an update on the 2022-2023 City Work Program item, Intergenerational Engagement. Tonight's agenda will cover the background of the work program item, our current status, and the recommended action. So many seniors have a wealth of lifelong experiences. Many teens do not have grandparents nearby. Activities across both generations can benefit both. Intergenerational activities allow seniors to be more energized and helps with issues such as loneliness and depression. It can also offer a mentorship for youth and help youth better understand aging and disabilities. The goals of this work program item are to create opportunities to interact together and promote a higher sense of community. Our current status, staff have developed multiple programs highlighting intergenerational engagement. The first of which was our Peace, Love, Unity Youth Art Exhibit. During the month of March, an art exhibit comprised of local youth's artwork was displayed at the Cupertino Senior Center. The exhibit was open to the public and enjoyed daily by members of the Senior Center. To commence the exhibit, the Cupertino Senior Center hosted an artist's reception recognizing the young local artists who participated. The evening included performances and speeches by some of the talented artists. A journalist from the World Journal reported on the reception event and exhibit, writing, "Not only does it demonstrate the multiculturalism of the community, but it also provides opportunities for young people to express their talents, which will inspire more young people to participate in artistic creation and expression, and at the same time strengthens the cohesion of the community." Additionally, the California Arts Council recognized the Cupertino Senior Center for its positive role in community leadership and culture. The other event that we hosted was Closing the Gap, an intergenerational mixer. On March 13th, more than 50 teens and adults 50 plus attended this intergenerational engagement event, interacting through fun, enriching recreational activities. The event opened with heartfelt speeches from the Parks and Rec and Teen Commission representatives about the importance of connecting with different generations and its positive impact on their lives. Event participants enjoyed various activities including giant Jenga, Connect 4, chair volleyball, and hula dancing. The city's Geographic Information Services Department gave a very informative presentation about the city's useful applications available to residents. Overall, the event was fun and informative and created a strong connection between the younger and older generations. Staff administered an evaluation to garner feedback on the event. 90% of attendees enjoyed the event and activities, and 94% would like more experiences like this offered in the future. Participants also commented, one wrote, "Very nice, social, educational, and fun." Others wrote, "Meeting the kids was the best part, and I am very pleased and glad I signed up." Overall, the feedback received by the staff about the event was very positive. Another upcoming event incorporating intergenerational engagement will be a silent disco event titled Disco at Dusk. This event will be held at the Cupertino Senior Center on June 23rd and will offer music, dancing, and craft activities. Each attendee will be given their own pair of wireless headphones that they will have 3 channels playing different types of music. Each person is their own DJ, controlling not only the music they want to dance to, but also the volume, making this an enjoyable time for all ages. That concludes my presentation this evening. Again, the recommended action was receive an update on the status of intergenerational engagement.
Thank you. That was
you.
very informative. We'll see. Do we have any questions here from the commissioners? Brief questions about the program?
This June 23 dance, music and dance event, do you have any link or anything to register for it, or just show up?
There's registration links online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll go find it. Otherwise, would you like to?
I can
would you mind
share
sharing
it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll
absolutely.
find it anyway on that. But
But we do have 3 different links for different age groups to sign up.
oh, okay. Any fees for that, or?
There are small fees associated with
That's
the event.
good. No, that's okay. I just wanted to check. But I just wanted to inform more people about it.
Yeah.
So generally, what's the capacity?
What was that?
What is the capacity? How many people?
We're expecting 150 people.
Okay. The Quinlan.
No, it'll be at the Cupertino Senior Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Just to follow up on that, for seniors, do they have to be members of the senior center to participate?
No, you don't need to be a member. But
Okay.
we are promoting it directly to our membership to get
Sure.
more of the senior attendance.
Okay, great. Do we want to see if there's any public comment on this item?
There are no speaker cards. And if you wish to comment on this item, please raise your hand on Zoom. And no one raised their hand.
Okay, I'll just bring it back. Do we have any other comments or discussion? Commissioner Begor.
Okay, so I think, hi Alex, great job last time I was there. Yeah, I keep forgetting this, so I saw in the staff report that there was something about an expense of $20,000. Do you have the breakdown for that?
The funds are used just to for supplies. What kind of breakdown?
I'm just curious, what would, we're not renting anything, given that it's in the senior center, so what is I know the allocated budget was $20,000. What do you expect will be the expense? And
Some of the expenses, at least for the intergenerational engagement, the Closing the Gap, was just more supplies, the folders, the giveaways. And then for the silent disco, we are renting the headphones. And then we have some decor that we've purchased and just little things like that. But
Okay.
we're nowhere near the
20,000.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because from the staff report, I kind of understood it was, at least I maybe misread it, but it was like $20,000 for the one remaining event, and I'm like, oh, what the heck are we doing with that money? But overall, do you have an idea of how much we've spent so far? Just a ballpark.
Yeah, between the 2 events, we are under 5,000.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
So just to clarify really quickly, when we do have to give how much money we are expecting for a work program item, there are many things we're trying to think about. And one of the things originally was whether or not we would have to bring in contract instructors to do anything with some of the events. And so that, of course, would be a higher fee. And so we've been very lucky to have some extremely creative people at our senior center, and these events have been a fabulous way to keep that cost down.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good to know.
Vice Chair Sharon.
I just want to make a brief comment that I'm impressed by the creativity of these 2 particular events. Very different and very interesting. In fact, my husband is going to go to the disco at dusk because it's appealing to him. So, good job.
That's great. And that's a credit to my staff at the Senior Center as well. The silent disco was one of my coordinators' idea, and we can't wait to see the success of the event.
Did you want to speak?
Just a brief comment.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you could, yes, that helps me. Thank you. Commissioner Swamy.
Thank you very much. Lovely presentation, and thank you for putting that together.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Great ideas, and maybe I'll see you at this
I
silent
hope
disco.
so.
Dancing is my thing, so you better look out. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item number 2, the Blackberry Farm summer updates.
All right, and for this, I would like to introduce Jason Bazali, our recreation coordinator at Blackberry Farm Picnic and Pools.
All right, thank you, Rochelle. As Rochelle just mentioned, good evening, commissioners. I am Jason Mazzali. I'm the recreation coordinator who oversees Blackberry Farm Park and Pools. And tonight I'm here to give you a brief overview of the 2023 summer season. So beginning with our park schedule, our season begins actually this weekend when our picnic sites open on Saturday, May 6th. And will be open weekends only until June 4th, at which point our picnic sites will be open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The sites will remain open weekdays until August 20th, when we will return to weekend-only operation until our season closes after October 1st. Our pool schedule, we will be returning to our pre-pandemic drop-in swim model this season. Pre-registration will not be needed for swim passes. Rather, swimmers will purchase their entry wristbands at our kiosk day of. 10-day punch cards and season-long memberships will also be returning this summer. And our pools will be open for weekend operation on May 27th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then a month later, on June 27th, we will begin operating the pools Tuesday through Sunday, and we'll continue that until August 20th. Weekday operation is noon to 6 p.m. for the pools, and the final 2 weekends of the pool season will be August 26th and 27th and September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We are closed every Monday this season except for Memorial Day and Labor Day. So we'll be opening Memorial Day weekend and closing Labor Day weekend and open on both of those holidays. Blackberry Farm will be closed on the 4th of July this year. And swim lessons. Blackberry Farm will run 7 weeks of swim lessons this summer, beginning on June 27th. Lessons are held before and after our recreation swim hours on Tuesday through Friday. And we offer 6 private lesson blocks between 9 a.m. and 1:10 p.m. And we'll be offering another 2 private and 1 semi-private adult session between 5:10 and 7:10 p.m. Saturdays, we offer a parent-child water introduction class, introducing the littlest swimmers to our aquatic environment. And as in years past, our pool season will conclude with Pooch Plunge on September 9th. We offer 4 swim blocks at 9, 10, and 11 a.m. and noon, and each block lasts 45 minutes, and it's just a really fun way to kind of end our season. So that's kind of an overview of the Blackberry season. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Vice Chair Sharon.
Hi, this is probably because I'm new to the Parks and Rec Commission. With our summers getting longer and with climate change, it's getting hotter. And in fact, I notice usually September is one of our hottest months. Why do we close the pool so early?
So a lot of that has to do with the amount of staffing that we can get.
Okay.
Our lifeguards are predominantly high schoolers who are not as willing or able to work in September when school's back in session. Mm-hmm. So that's part of it. Is it's really hard to find staffing for the pools in September.
Okay. Thank you.
I guess I'd make a comment. Just in what I've seen, the attendance drops off because the kids go back to school in August, and so they're not out mostly with family. So you definitely see the drop off in attendance even before it closes.
Right. The reason why I ask is that there's a pool around near my house, Rancho Rinconada, and there's adult swim hours in the mornings, which are very popular. And I was just wondering if that was a possibility for Blackberry Farm.
We also have a 100-day limit at Blackberry Farm. That is
that in municipal code? Is that
no, that is a consent decree item from a court order that you could probably become much more familiar with. Yes, it's something that has been
thank
discussed a lot. Definitely an item.
Maybe we could take this
reviewed.
offline, and Rochelle, you can get into it with me a little bit so I understand. Thank you so much.
Okay, Commissioner Swamy.
Thank you. Could you publish the price of the lessons somewhere where it is easily available to people? And can you just give an overview now, if you can?
Yes, I do not. I don't have the prices in front of me at the moment. They are all included in our rec brochure, and I don't have that in front of me right now. Sorry.
All right.
I would just like to add really quickly, the recreation brochure, if you just go to cupertino.org/recreation, it's right there on the front, and you can scroll through it. You can click on the different items. If you'd like to take swim lessons, it'll take you straight to where you can register for them. So it's all set up very easily right there on the front recreation page.
That's great. How many, just a very quick follow-up question, how many people actually do you fill up your swim lessons, and do you have a backlog?
Yeah, so last summer, every private lesson that we offered was booked. The parent-child water introduction does generally have a little bit of space in those classes, but every private lesson was completely filled with plenty of people on the wait list. So we've actually, this summer, we've expanded a little bit and are offering a few more classes than we were last summer.
Thank you.
Did you have a question?
I do have a question.
Commissioner Begor. Gotta get you used to it.
Yes. So you go away for a month and you forget all the controls. So thank you for your presentation, and it's sort of following up to what Seema was asking. You said we're back to the pre-pandemic time. So do we have an idea of how much it was? Was it like 50% last year? Do we have any idea just what are...
Like numbers for swimmers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I can compare. Give me 1 second. So in 2019, we had roughly 12,000 drop-in swimmers throughout the course of the summer. Last year, we had 11,700. The numbers from 2019 don't include people who came in and used their memberships, though. And we did have 119 family memberships back in 2019. And so with those coming back, I think that's where the big change is going to be in our numbers.
Oh, excellent. And of these people, do we have an idea of how many of them are Cupertino residents?
We always kind of sit around 40% resident rate. Last year we were at 44%, which is actually higher than in years past. 2021 we were at 42% residency rate, and 2019 we were at about 40%.
Excellent. Thank you.
I have one question for you on the pooch plunge. Last year, I think we set up 3 consecutive hours, and then we scrambled because it was so popular, and you guys showed great flexibility and added a 4th hour. Are we considering, if we need that flexibility because it's so popular, to maybe have additional hours that day?
So we are just going in with 4 this year. We're looking potentially in the future, maybe adding like a preseason pooch plunge as well, to kind of have it on either end. But we're looking into that maybe for next year.
Okay. I know it fills up very fast.
Yeah.
Commissioner Begor?
I got this right this time. Just as I don't know the answer to this. I'm genuinely asking this question now. If you have one preseason, then do you have to clean the pool again before?
So there's we have a pretty good filtration system, so it shouldn't take. We wouldn't have to do anything out of the ordinary to get it cleaned up. Beyond what we already do to get it prepared for the season.
Yeah, I have a dog, but he gets into our pool, but I don't know how the public would like that. So
for sure.
All right.
Okay, if there's no more questions, let's see if there's any public comment on this item.
There are no speaker cards, and if you wish to comment on this item on Zoom, please raise your hand. And no one on Zoom.
Okay, I'll bring it back to the commission. Do any commissioners have any final comments on this? No, please push your button.
No, I think this is request to speak first.
Okay. Commissioner Bush.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. We should spread it more and advertise it more. Yeah, I like what I hear. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. We
Thank-
are actually putting together a bit of a marketing plan to go into effect in the next couple of weeks. So appreciate it, though.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I look forward to all the activities and seeing you out there. We ran into each other the other day as I was walking my dog through. And so I was getting a little preview of some of this. So thank you for that. And we'll see you out there.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, let's move on to item number 3, approval of the minutes. Are there any comments on the minutes? No? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written from April 6, 2023.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we can vote with our lights.
Motion carries with 4 yes and 1 abstain.
Thank you. Okay, moving on the agenda. I don't believe we have any postponements. Is that correct? And let's move on to oral communications. This is the part of the meeting that is reserved for persons wishing to address the commission on any matter within our jurisdiction that is not on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. If you are interested in speaking, please bring up a blue card or raise your hand on Zoom.
And just as a reminder, if you wish to comment during oral communications, please raise your hand. And we have 1 hand raised on Zoom. And welcome, John V.
Good evening, Cupertino Parks and Recreation Commissioners. My name is John V. Kumar, and I'm a freshman at Monte Vista High School. And I'm here as a youth representative for dog off-leash areas here in Cupertino, specifically from my local DOA at Linda Vista Park. Since the summer, I've had the opportunity of helping out the main leader of these DOAs, Louisa Dati, who unfortunately couldn't make it to today's city council meeting, as she is currently out of state. I would like to begin by first playing a quick video displaying some of the exciting happenings occurring at the Linda Vista DOA. And thank you for sharing that. Now I stand here today to thank each and every one of you for giving us your full support for the establishment of DOAs around Cupertino. Because of all your assistance and collaboration, we have made our community safer and more enjoyable for both pets and their owners, and we couldn't have asked for more. As you can see, things are going very well at the Linda Vista DOA, and we're sure it will remain that way in the coming future. So thank you so much for everything you've done for us and your time today.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight. That was a wonderful little video. I think sometimes they have sound. Did we just not get the sound?
It's just due to copyright.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it would have been okay. Okay, do we have any other oral communications?
No other hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, moving along. We can go to, do we have any written communications?
No written communications.
Okay, I see some lights. Is it for Commissioner Swamy?
There was actually a person who had written, Santosh, I believe, on email addressing the DOLA issue. Is that something that, just want to kind of bring it to the attention that there are as many supporters as we have? I think he's not here today to speak, but there are some people who are talking precisely about what the dog doing its job on the lawns and not particularly being safe for the children. So there are two sides of the perspective as well. Just want to make sure that we were recording that as well.
Yes, that is in our correspondence. Director Sanders?
Yeah, that email actually came in earlier than what we would put in written communications, but yes, it was sent to the whole commission, so you should all be aware.
In addition, he spoke at our last 2 meetings ago and our last meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Commissioner Bush.
Yeah, I think it was a good video. My only concern with that video was they were all small puppies, right? Generally, what people are scared of are big dogs.
Yeah, so this is not on our agenda, so it's really not appropriate to discuss it
I'm just
tonight.
saying that the video seemed like a very skewed to a smaller
we don't want to be making
breed.
comments about
Okay.
because it's not agendized tonight.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. We can move on to old business. Item number 4. The subject is the update on playground replacement capital improvement project.
Good evening, commissioners and members of the public. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So I'm Evelyn, the project manager for the playground equipment replacement project, and I'm here to provide an update. So this is the overview for tonight: project background, budget, playground design, inclusive element selection, and next steps. The playground equipment replacement project was established in fiscal year 2020-2021. The projected cost is $1.5 million over 5 years at $300,000 annually. The strategy is to start with Creekside Park. The tot lot was completed in August of 2022, and the school age is next. So this project aligns with the park's master plan. Staff researched themed playground equipment, and on December 2020, a survey was conducted on theme options. Creekside Park selected theme was Creekside. The assigned budget is $600,000. The Creekside equipment and construction is $285,000. The 20% ADA construction cost is $57,000, and the landscape architect support is $8,000 for a total of $350,000. So this is the first rendering of the design for Creekside, the school-aged playground. We have incorporated creek theme throughout the play area. There are ground level play elements like lily pads, cattails, and leaves. The play area has 2 slides, a climbing component, a swing area, and a zip line area. This rendering shows a multi-user oodle swing. The swing offers a fun ride for kids of all abilities. The swing is adjacent to the inclusive corner and an in-ground spinner. This rendering shows the zip line and swings area. There are 5 regular swings, 1 molded seat with harness, 1 zip line. The zip line is a great play feature and maximizes the space within the playground. So the project provides a variety of swinging options. Here are sample photos of the molded seat and harness, the zip line, and the oodle swing. This is the inclusive corner. It's the only place in the playground that will have rubberized pour-in place. For the in-ground spinner, it will also have 3 inclusive panels with a few cattails. Staff would like the commission to select 3 inclusive panels from the list. The first option is the bongo panel. The second is braille and clock panel. The third is chimes reach panel. 4 is the marble panel, and 5 is the image panel. So the bongo panel lets kids make music on the playground. It encourages creation of new games, rhythms, and songs. The braille and clock panel provides excellent learning opportunities and promotes learning and collaborative play. The chimes reach panel incorporates musical play on the playground for kids of all ages and abilities. The marble panel offers a sensory-rich visual, auditory, and tactile experience. And the image panel lets kids create designs on the playground. Kids can make letters, numbers, and artistic designs. Next steps include procurement and construction for Creekside. So fabricating and delivery of the play structure will be approximately 4 months. There is a high demand for play equipment. There is a permit review process, that's 2 months, and then installation after that, 3 weeks. With that, thank you. Open to any questions.
Thank you very much. And just to confirm, tonight we are we're reviewing the presentation, and your ask from us is on choices for those panels. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's correct. So a selection of from the 5 narrowed down to 3.
And the budget for this has already been established, is that correct?
Yes,
So that's already been approved by council?
correct. Yeah, and in the CIP budget currently is $600,000.
Okay, but your expected budget is far below that?
Yes, and we will be using the remaining balance for a different playground.
Okay, I'd like to open it up for questions. Oh, I don't know which one came up first, so we'll just start with Commissioner Bush.
I know you've given us 5 options and want us to select some. I don't see is multi-generational thing. You know, that's another theme for the play structure where there is a multi-generational aspect. Because during the day, you don't see a whole lot of kids, but the seniors, adults, they can do some light activities that keeps them engaged and also bring their own kids or grandkids or whatever. So I see a serious lack of that in all your designs. I see it's a very narrowly focused designs. I like the sensory part. Music is always good for brain, and I would have loved to see more motor skill development aspect. Maybe music can do a little bit, and the sticks.
Commissioner Bush, excuse me.
Okay, I'm
Could
done.
we just keep this to questions? We will be able to come back for
Okay, so
for
why is there
discussion.
no multi-generational design included? That's my question.
Thank you.
And that's my concern. Okay.
So Creekside Park does have exercise equipment on site. It is a little dated, but there are within the vicinity of the playground, maybe about 10 feet from that playground, there is exercise equipment for seniors. But for the design of the playground, it's school age, so it's targeted between 5 to 12 years old.
Okay. Any other questions? No. No. Yes or no?
Well, you
Yes or
said
no?
only
No
one.
comments right now.
You said only one question. Or no, I can ask more
You could
questions.
ask another question.
Okay.
We can come back to you.
Okay.
Commissioner Vigor.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Evelyn. We typically, I think when we have choices like this, we kind of get the presentation up front so we can do some homework on this. But we will be able to make it, I'm not sure we will be able to make a decision, but we'll try. So given the 5 options and given the budget that was given, that you put up there, what are the costs on each one of them? Because it's going to, I don't want anything exceeding the cost. And there's no explanation really about the costs. And they're all very good things. There's no reason to pick one over the other besides budget.
So they all 5 panels cost the same, so there's no difference in cost between the 5. But we are only selecting 3 just for budget purposes.
So what is the cost of each one of them?
Give me 1 second while I look it up. So they are 1,560
Each.
Mm-hmm.
So why not put all 5?
We could do that, but we are trying not to expend all our budget dollars because we do have to upgrade other playgrounds.
Okay, but the budget for this, Rochelle, maybe you can explain this, or maybe she knows. So the 600,000 that was assigned was for this particular play?
No, Evelyn does know.
Yeah, yeah. So no, it's so we allocate 300,000 annually, and that's approximately 150,000 per playground. But we're seeing that the costs for equipment, the ADA scope is a little bit, it's significantly higher.
So can you put the budget?
Sure. There we go. Okay, so we allocate 300,000 annually for playground replacement, but it's only for one park. And in the current CIP budget right now, we have 600,000.
And that's for how many parks?
It's supposed to be for 2 parks.
What is the other park?
So we are looking at Little Rancho. So last year, Sedgwick performed an evaluation of all our playgrounds and created a priority list, including recommendations. Based on those recommendations, we are upgrading playgrounds in conjunction with our Public Works grounds crew.
Okay, so how much is the estimate for the other one? I mean, right now we have spent $350,000 on this park?
We have not. So once we get the 3 panel selection from Parks Commissioners, when you guys select it, we will go to council for contract award, and then we will proceed with the construction.
So, okay, I'm asking a lot of questions with regard to the budget, and if you want to hold this to after, because I have a lot of questions around this. This is completely unclear to me. How do you want to do this?
So the budget has been established, and we'd like to take the questions as appropriate. Director Sanders, do you want to comment on
Well,
that?
so the budget has been established and it has been approved by council, and what Evelyn has said is correct. However, it is basically between the playgrounds that are the oldest, the playgrounds that need the most help, and it is PW and our CIP department that are basically looking at where we need to be and what needs to happen. I can tell you that the Creekside larger playground is one of the larger ones we need to redo, whereas Little Rancho is a much smaller playground. It will not need the full funding that you will see at the Creekside Playground. But we also have Susan Michael, our CIP manager here, who may be able to help answer other questions you have.
So mine was more of a, before we get into the detail, do you want to ask other people the questions? We can come back to this as discussion.
Sure.
Okay.
Why don't we do that? And remember that we're not approving the budget on this. That is not in our purview, but to review the project, and what we want to do is get to the items that she's talked about. So let me just keep going. Vice Chair Sharon.
Great. Thank you for thank you for your presentation. We really appreciate you coming in and talking about these issues. I'm very familiar with Creekside Park. I live probably 300 feet from it, so I am in it every single day. And I want to first. I can't answer. I will save it for my comments. Okay, questions. Will the swing area be in the same swing area that is currently there?
Yes, it will be.
Okay. Will the bench that is near there, and this kind of goes back to Commissioner Bush's question, as far as amenities for older people, will the bench that is currently in that playground area, will that be also staying?
The bench within the play area limits?
Yes.
No, we are not planning to put in a bench.
Okay, so that bench will go away.
Mhm.
Okay. Will there be a replacement bench for that? Because there's a bench right on the other side of the walkway, but only one. And I noticed that people really use, like I've used it, that bench that's right in the play area. Can a substitute bench, or can it be moved just outside the play area?
Yes, we can take that into consideration. There is funding available, so we could do that.
Okay. Have you made any, I'm a former noise control engineer, sorry. Have you made any kind of measurements as to how loud the chimes are? And I ask that because the fence that's very near the edge of the playground, it just on the other side of the creek are homes. And I can imagine if I was living there, that if I heard ding, 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 ding all day long, it might be like a pickleball court. So the question is, have there been, how loud are they? Have there been decibel measurements, that sort of thing?
I don't know the decimal measurements, but I'm
Okay.
sure it's not that loud. So for the Creekside Tot Lot, we did incorporate some animal noises, and it's pretty close to some homes in the area.
Yes.
And we haven't had any complaints yet. It's contained within the play area. So I doubt that it will go beyond the creek and into the neighbors. So it'll stay contained within the playground limits.
Okay. Well, the reason why I ask is that higher pitch noises, you hear them more. We are more attuned to them. Okay. I think that's it for my questions.
Okay, Commissioner Swamy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your presentation. Few questions. Commissioner Bush asked a question about the age range, and you said it was between 5 years and 12 years. And then you also said that you could only choose 3 out of the 5 options, although each of these seems fairly low cost, about roughly speaking about $1,500. But you said that you had the budget for a new bench, which I'm assuming is also somewhat expensive, in the same ballpark.
I'm not sure what the prices are for the bench, but because we are removing that bench, we could accommodate that.
Okay. These seem like really not very high cost items, the 1,500 for all 5. I'm not really, my question really is a follow-up to what Commissioner Bush was saying, which is, it doesn't feel like these activities are geared for the 12-year-old. It feels more like the 5, 6, 7-year-old activities. When you are looking at these, which of these activities are geared towards the older children? Because it all seems like more limited to a lower age group.
So the zip line and the swing area are targeted for the older children, including the oodle swing, which is multi-generational.
Okay. I was actually referring to those marble, the sensory, and so you're talking about the entire spectrum.
Yes.
Is what you were talking
Yes.
about as
And
being between 5 and 12. Why not a little bit older if the swings, do you think that slightly older children cannot enjoy the swing?
Slightly old children of all ages can enjoy the swings.
Right.
Even adults too.
Adults too, right? Yeah. But I was, perhaps it was my misunderstanding, those 3 things.
The 3 panels.
The
yes.
panels you were talking about?
Yeah.
I thought you were referring to those as being between, or aimed at between 5 and 12-year-old
Yes, so
kids.
the manufacturer, those are the inclusive panels that they carry, and they are targeted for between the ages of 5 to 12, whether it's on the on the range of the lower end of 5 to 6 year olds. That's what the manufacturer has available.
Yeah. Is there scope for you to, one last question, is there scope for you to look for panels that, forget what the manufacturer is saying, but really I don't know if a 12-year-old wants to touch a marble for sensory excitement. What I'm saying is, can they actually find something that is a little bit more cognitive and entertainment value for the older kids?
I could look into it and see what is available.
Appreciate it.
So my question on that, this is considered the inclusive area. So is that considering that the people or the children who would be using this would probably have some disabilities or sensory issues, and that's why this is considered inclusive and maybe not as active as some of the other aspects of the park?
Yes, so this is our inclusive corner, and based on the manufacturer's recommendations, these are what children with different abilities are able to use and manipulate and able to play and enjoy the playground without having to, and make it more accessible for everyone.
So,
I'm really happy to hear that this is for the inclusivity part of it. Having said that, even in the inclusive areas, there are children, perhaps visually challenged or auditory challenged, but not cognitively challenged, that might want to find a little bit more of, what should I say, the word I'm looking for is greater receptivity and greater engagement. If they have activities or panels that really scale, because all of them seem really, really addressing the lower end of the spectrum in terms of age. Thank you.
And so my only other question was with respect to the bongos, and it was sort of a noise question similar to Vice Chair Sharon's question, is how much does the noise from the bongos carry?
I don't have an answer to that, but I can check in with our manufacturer and get back to you.
Okay. And that may just be something that we consider as we're choosing what we're looking at. Why don't we?
I have one final question. Are
Okay.
we, to you,
Yes.
Chair, are we looking at this presentation as, this is the first time we are actually looking at these options, right? So what is the role? Is it just for informational purpose that this presentation is being made? Or is it for us to at least weigh in and give in some kind of a thought and engagement or some recommendations? What is the scope of this?
So generally, the presentations, we can provide feedback and staff can take that back and consider what the feedback has been and see what their options are. And then they also lay out for us what questions do they actually ask us to vote or make a group decision on. And so they take all of the feedback that's provided.
So the
Director
questions
Sander, would
we are
you like
asking,
to comment on that as well?
No, that's correct. So we will take all of the feedback that you have. We will look at other options. Obviously, we have budget and the manufacturer to think about. We will not bring it back 20 times, though. You will see this. And the goal tonight is to get your feedback, make sure we have it written down so we can go back and look at things. But then, of course, to get out of these 5 panels, whether your options, the way we can do it from what I'm hearing is the top 3. And then if we're able to do all 5, we'll do all 5. But at least we'll have the top 3 you guys like in case we stick to 3 and not 5.
right, and possibly a different set or substituting some of the panels.
Yes, we will definitely take that feedback into consideration as we look at other options.
Thank you. One last question, because you said that you have the budget and you have priced it. How did you price this? How did you get the pricing for this? And what are the other options, manufacturer options and pricing have you considered before you settle down on these?
So I did, we did go through a rendition of a different type of play area, but that was beyond the budget that we have established of the $300,000. We also went through several versions of the play area. So we have a pricing from our national. So part of the. Let me back up a little bit. So as part of the there is a cooperative agreement between the state and several municipalities and local agencies where they submit their bidding prices at a competitive price. And we talk to manufacturers that have submitted their qualifications and their pricings with the state of California, and then we go and talk to them, go through their list of options that they have available for these agencies that want to work with these manufacturers, and then we go and we give them the theme of the playground, the school age, and then I work with a manufacturer to make sure that we design something that meets our parks master plan, that meets our budget, and make sure that we are engaging the community, which we did. We did the outreach for it, and that was established, the Creekside theme.
Am I to understand that this is a bespoke set of panels that you and the manufacturer came up with?
So the manufacturer has a variety of panels from their inclusive catalog, and in that inclusive catalog, they have those 5 panels. They have other varieties. They have other play equipment that's inclusive. So the in-ground spinner is an option. The oodle swing is an option. The molded seat is an option, and they have several other varieties. So for our inclusive corner, we wanted to see the in-ground spinner and then one other piece of equipment, and we thought it would be a good idea to do the 3 panels. We also put within the vicinity the oodle swing. There are other options, but this is more on the cost-effective side.
Okay, so you chose the cheapest.
Well, the oodle swing isn't that cheap. I would have to go back and look at that, but these are. We wanted to provide a variety of inclusive equipment, not just the 3 panels and then one other thing. We wanted to provide a variety. They have other options, but this is what works within our playground footprint and within our budget.
Okay, thank you. One last question is, what were the considerations that led you to make these decisions? From the variety, it seems to me that it's not the cheapest, but we are looking at one manufacturer for everything rather than looking at different manufacturers for different things. So please talk to us a little bit about what went into your consideration and why did we choose what we chose and not go with a cheaper option or a more expensive and a more cognitively challenging option, for example.
Okay, so we did look at another manufacturer and their price came in a bit higher, so it was at $400,000. They had more playground equipment within the footprint, but they had less inclusive pieces. And we were looking for that in-ground spinner with the other in-ground spinner wasn't as elaborate as the one that we have here. And that the price was just too significant to go with that manufacturer.
Okay, you done there? Okay, thank you. There's no more questions right now? Okay, Commissioner Bush.
So is this the only play structure going to be in the Creekside Park? I know it's a big park with 2-3 sections. Is this the only one?
Yes, so Creekside has 2 play areas.
Right.
And this is the second one that will be rebuilt.
Okay, so the first one will still stay.
The first one has already was completed last year, and it has the creek theme also.
Okay. And second question, I haven't lately been there. I've been there quite a few. I live close by. When you say the exercise equipment for adults, those are those wooden bars and a little serious one. I'm talking about. When I say multi-generational, it's not 6 to 12, or I'm talking about, a lot of parks these days have a exercise equipment for seniors, for example, right? Because they are likely to bring grandkids and other things like that. So there's nothing bench, only one bench, and also what is in, why restricting?
So Evelyn, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and take this one.
Yeah.
So the goal of this actual project is playground replacement. We also have playground amenities. Those are where we've talked about things like adult equipment to do exercise or senior equipment to do exercise. So that is actually a different project. At this time, this project is just about the playground, but there is another CIP project that is a Parks and Rec item that is the playground amenities. And when the park amenities. And when those come to you, that would be an awesome time to be able to use that money toward exactly what you're speaking of.
I tried.
Thank you, Director. At this time, let's see if we have any public comment on this item.
There are no speaker cards and no attendees on Zoom.
Okay, then I'll bring it back to discussion. It's like who can push the button first? Commissioner Begor.
Okay, so what I understand of this is that we had two people we were looking at, two manufacturers, and we picked the one that is cheaper, that's possibly giving us some options. So given that when we came up with the budget of what we were planning to do for this park, what was the budget for this park at that time?
So the original budget is $150,000 per playground, but that is because of the play equipment pricing, installation, and then we are bound by ADA building codes that we have to provide 20% valuation of the project for dedicated to ADA work, so upgrades to the path of travel and things like that. The project budget has gone up to $300,000 per playground.
So when the budget was assigned, they said we have 300,000, and we came back and said no, we need 600,000, and it was approved.
If I may, Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is Susan Michael. I'm the CIP manager. I wanted to step in. I wanted to clarify the scope of the original project. The project was approved. This is the 4th year of funding. So I can't remember, I can't do the math right now. But when the playground replacement project was originally derived, it was meant to do many more playgrounds. Something like 4 playgrounds every year. And what we found as soon as we got started is that is financially not feasible. So we've been trying to accomplish what we can and keep a modest and basically fiscally responsible budget for each of the playgrounds, so we can get as much bang for our buck out of the money that has been allocated. So far we've been allocated, this year will be the 4th year, so we've been allocated $900,000 to date. We spent $300,000 on that. We've only accomplished 1 playground. So we're trying to keep it to a reasonable, there's not a set budget for each playground. There's no fixed determined number for each place. So we're trying to do what we can and choose the right things for that playground. And we're also looking for grant funding so that we can make this funding that's been put in place go farther.
Okay, so if I understand it, this is the 4th year, so you have 1.2 million assigned or 900,000?
To date, we received 900,000. Will be receiving another $300,000 in fiscal year 23-24.
Okay, and so the total 1.2 million, and it was originally 1.5 million?
No, this is a multi-year project, and there are a couple of multi-year projects in the CIP program. ADA upgrades is another one. Street light replacements is another one, for example. So the council approved a program to have a 5-year playground project. So each year we get 300,000. But as it happens, each year we have to go back and get permission for that. So
okay,
it's one of those things where we don't have to explain ourselves quite a bit every year to get approval for the project, but we do have to make the request every year.
So just looking at what was presented, if you can put that budget thing back. So the assigned 600,000 now, of the 900,000 that has been provided so far, the 600,000 has been assigned to 2 parks? Is that a
No,
correct
I think
understanding?
if I may, the word assigned might be misleading. The budget, the funding for the playground replacement project overall is $300,000 a year, and it, it rolls over when we don't spend it.
Okay.
To date, we've received 900,000.
So this number of 600,000 to start with is also incorrect.
No, it's not incorrect. What has happened is that we've done one playground, so we spent approximately $300,000.
And that was in Creekside Park?
Yes, that was the top
Okay.
lot.
Okay, so the remaining 600,000 we want to spend on Creekside and the other park that you mentioned. And what was the, just as a just out of curiosity, what was the selection process, or what
There's
was the
been a-
criteria?
Rochelle, Director Sander, you might be able to answer that better. There was a very public process, and it went to commission, I believe, more than once to determine which locations were the priority.
Yes, and with that, the other process was actually when they looked at all the playgrounds and which ones are the oldest, which ones needed the most help. And so it was about trying to do the ones where they had either been so long before we'd done anything to them. And then obviously we're not doing Jollyman because that's being
Separate
redone in
project
a whole nother
altogether,
way.
yes.
So a lot of these did have to do with the safety concerns or maintenance concerns, and upgrades like this are going to actually end up making it cheaper maintenance-wise if we do it now versus having the park fall apart and us having to fix things. So it had to do with not only the PW option, but it was brought to commission pretty far back when we were talking about the master plan, about the different parks and items that we wanted to think about in parks, so like inclusive items and all of that. So all of that had to do with how we picked which parks.
Okay, so then coming back to this, the Creekside equipment, so for the Creekside, of the 600,000, how much is it for the Creekside and how much is it for the other one?
So at this time, if we go with what's on the budget right now, the total for Creekside alone is the $350,000.
So this 350,000 does not include the 5 options? Or
No, it
includes
does.
3 options?
It does.
It does include the 5 options, the 3 options, I'm sorry.
3 panels.
Yeah, 5 options, 3 panels.
Okay, so
So just quickly, I think that's kind of the point. Like tonight, the issue is we really want to know which panels you like the best. The panels are already part of the budget. They all cost the same amount. And so truthfully, we're not adding to the budget. We're not deleting from the budget. It's just if you pick the 3 you like, we're still good to go with exactly what you see on your screen.
okay, so then the follow-up question would be, the other park requires $250,000 for what?
So we haven't budgeted out the other park yet.
No, we are looking, we have engaged a manufacturer and we're going through the design and we're engaging a landscape architect, but at the current moment, we don't know what that will be yet. We're still looking into it.
So what happens if that becomes 300,000?
We're going to have to cut a few items to make it fit within our budget. But the park that we are considering is a much smaller park. It's a pocket park, so it'll be within the budget. It's going to be a significantly less, it will be less costly.
I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they are very small. Very, very, very small.
We did the amenities, so we went through all of the parks, but the
Yeah.
costs is questionable.
Well, so if you think about it, I mean, Creekside is an extremely large footprint, and we're talking 350. Whereas the park that she's talking about is almost the footprint of the inclusive area. I mean, it's tiny. So there's no way we're going to get to that number with that park, unless, of course, we create some kind of amazing rocket ship or something like that that takes us away.
So in that case, then adding that $3,000 extra to this park, would it break the bank?
Right.
Well, what happens, though, is then you can't do another park. So the goal is that what
For
we're
$3,000?
no, what we're hoping is to do as many parks as we can with the money we're going to get. So
I'd like to make is,
will you hit your mic? Sorry, Chair.
sorry, is you've designed the space with the anticipation that you would have 3 panels, right? So if we went to more panels, would you have to redesign that space and go back to designers, and that's going to cost more money to do that?
Yes, there is potential. So the area where we have the inclusive corner, there is a footprint for the rubberized pour in place. So if we add an additional 2 panels, we would have to figure out the layout for that. Then that might increase our cost because the rubberized footprint, and that we need to include like the aggregate base, we need to include installation for that, and then the actual rubber.
So your estimation, the reason you're asking us for 3 is because you've looked at the space. You believe that the space, that it wouldn't be too crowded to have 3 in the space that you've allocated for it.
Correct.
And so 3 makes sense from what you're doing. If we decide to do 5, then we're going kind of back to the drawing board on some of this stuff.
Yes, if it does not fit in that area, we would have to look at a different location, but it wouldn't be in the inclusive corner. We would have to rearrange things. We would have to go back and figure things out.
Yeah, so my comment here is that, I'd like to take the professionalism and the experience of staff in their recommendation that 3 is the number that will fit into the space, and bring us back to which 3 do we like best. And so if we could do that, I'd like to focus on that. I'll go ahead and just say some comments about the ones I like. So the bongos, bongos make me nervous. I don't like the sound of them. Chimes I love. I think chimes can be very relaxing. And so, I have a noise expert next to me that may or may not agree with me. I didn't quite understand what the marble thing was. And I think I like the image panel as well, because I feel like that could be any age. I mean, an adult could go in and start to do some image that they might like with these different blocks that are there. So I didn't quite understand what the marble thing does. The Braille was interesting, and I think of it more as, we have so many things now that you can get audio if you have a seeing impairment. But I think as an educational tool, just to expand people's view of how are different ways that different abled people can experience the world, and open their mind to what Braille was for so long, and maybe continues to be. I think that has value. So those are my comments. Vice Chair Sheeran.
Thank you, Commissioner Stanek. And thank you to staff for answering all of our questions. It's really appreciated. Just to piggyback on what you're saying, we're not here to oversee what you're doing. We're not here to manage your workload or to micromanage or whatever. That's not our job here. And we appreciate the fact that you have come to us for resident input, which is really what commissions are all about. So speaking of a couple things, I just want to make a couple comments. First of all, I have seen the Creekside Tot Lot, and it is lovely. It is really, really nice. I have seen kids playing in it. And actually, I saw a gentleman the other day, and I said, "This is great" to him. And he says, "I know." And so you have there are a lot of people really enjoying it. The kids really enjoy it. And I did notice the rubberized surface, which is wonderful. And because previously it was just sand in there, and I was always worried about animals getting in there. So I'm really glad about that. Speaking of surfaces, you mentioned that it would be rubberized surface only in the ADA area. Is it going to be like what it is now with the wood chips in the other area? What is in the other area?
Yeah, correct. So
Okay.
it's wood chips. So we'll have the wood fiber throughout the entire area, and just the inclusive corner will have the rubberized surfacing.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. So our objective tonight is to talk about these 5 different panels and narrow it down to 3 different panels. I also think that the image is probably my top pick. It spans the generations. It looks fun. It looks like something even I might go up and make something, it looks fun. So that would be my top pick. My second pick would probably be the Braille, because I think that it's, how do I put this? It makes it inclusive for everyone. It gives an appreciation maybe to kids who have never seen Braille before. And so that would probably be my second. Third would be, this is where it gets tricky. Probably the marble one, because it's very tactile, and that would be fun. But only because I hear what Commissioner Stanek is saying, or sorry, Chair Stanek is saying about the bongos. Even though, to be honest, with it being a lower pitch sound, I'm much less worried about it, because there's currently a basketball court that's really close to it, and that does not seem to be an issue with the neighbors. So they are okay with that low pitch sound. The chimes would be my least wanted because of the high pitch, and because it just carries. It really, really carries. And you, especially on cold mornings, that's when you really hear those sounds. So if you have, which we do, we have grandparents that bring their kids there fairly early in the morning, and if the kids are playing on chimes, that's just going to carry. So that would probably be my least favorite out of all of them. So hopefully that was useful input. But again, I appreciate, I mean, after seeing the upgrades already in the playground, I can't wait to see what happens at Creekside. And it looks like it's going to be really great. Oh, one last thing, sorry. Regarding the bench. My thought was that we wouldn't throw out the bench that's there. It would be we just move it. So we shouldn't have to pay for a new bench.
Correct.
Yeah.
We'll relocate it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll work with the public works staff, and we can relocate that bench.
Okay, because it's pretty new. It's not like it's falling apart or anything.
Yeah, we'll relocate it. It will not get thrown out. We'll
Okay.
reuse it.
Good. All right. Thank you so much.
So through the chair, if you don't mind, I think the easiest way to do this might be if each commissioner could actually rank 1 to 5 each item. Susan is happy to take down our numbers in an Excel sheet so that we can go with what you guys would like.
Sure.
So if we don't mind doing it that way, Evelyn, would you do me a favor and bring up that slide that has all 5 named?
Could you describe what the marble one is? Is it just touching? Does it move at all?
Yeah, there is a. Sorry. So one side does move, and then the other side is stationary.
Okay.
Do you have chime sound sample kind of? Can we hear it? Is there any video or something? Is it really that loud? Because
It's like NBC, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it does create. Oh, okay, yeah. That's good.
Okay. So you want us to just write down, and then you will ask us, and we'll.
Yeah, if we
give
can
you-
just go by commissioner, and if you can
sounds
just rank each one, that would be fabulous.
Before we
If I
get to
may,
that,
can I
Before
ask
we get to that.
Commissioner.
Well, actually, Commissioner
Bogor?
Swamy hasn't
Chair?
spoken at all yet.
Susan Michael is speaking.
Oh,
Sorry.
hi. Thank
if-
you.
If you can give your favorite a 5 and your least favorite a 1, that way I can summarize the numbers and
Oh,
get Excel to work for me.
okay. So more points is better.
Yes.
Okay.
5
Thank
to
you.
1. Thank you.
Yes, that's really important to get that right.
Okay, before we get to
Commissioner
that,
Bogor,
can
sure.
I take a moment here? So first of all, I'm, want to make myself clear. There are a couple of things that were not clear to me. Usually we get the presentation up front so I can read all of that stuff, so I wouldn't have had to ask all these questions. Secondly, the reason I ask that is because people want to understand where the tax dollars are going, and 5, 6, 7 years ago when a decision is made, it is not always obvious to everybody that the decision was, what the decision was and how it was made. So pardon my asking the questions, but I will continue to ask them because I think it makes sense to the population. Then one more question I have. These 5 that were recommended, whether it was the bongo or the chimes, they are recommended by the manufacturer for inclusiveness, right?
Yes, these are the 5 So in their inclusive catalog, these are the 5 panels that they have labeled as inclusive. So they only have 5 as varieties. The variety is only 5.
Yeah, absolutely. So in these, when they gave you this information, have they ever said that, this is louder, that is not louder?
In the brochure, I need to review that, but I did not get a video for that, but I did get a video for the oodle swing. But if there is, I can look at it and review it and provide it.
Sure. Because I think if they're recommending this as something that is important for inclusiveness, there's obviously a method to their madness when they come up with this, right? It clearly helps. I don't know who it helps, but obviously it helps some children.
Yeah.
So for us to assume that it's going to be loud and take it out is probably a good thing for the neighbors, but is that
good for them?
Solving the problem of inclusiveness? That's the question I have. For us to make that decision, and that's why I was like, making this decision is a little bit quick, but we'll do what we can under the circumstances because we are where we are.
Go ahead.
I would like to please take our questions as something as being collaborative and not something as being challenging. We understand there's a lot of work and thought process, and we are highly supportive. We're just asking the questions because we seek to understand, right? You're asking us to ratify and give you recommendations, so it is just a question of seeking information and figuring out what. Two things. One is you said you looked at 2 manufacturers, and secondly, why not more? That's one question, because maybe there are cheaper options or better options, or maybe this is the best option. I don't know. You know better because you've done the background work. Certainly would like to hear your thoughts about it, because you probably have looked at multiple options and said, hey, let's consider these 2. Secondly, it would be really helpful for us. And I'm, like I said, you're the expert. And I'm asking my questions as a layperson in this context to an expert. What are the benefits of each of these, so that if you can help weigh it for us? Hey, this is what the manufacturer said, that this panel is targeted for this group of people because these are the benefits that they get out of it, right? For example, all of us feel somewhat lost about the marble thing. Yes, the tactile part we get, but what is it beyond the tactile part? Like, for example, so we're just asking questions, not challenging. Please take it in the spirit.
If I may, can I address the first question?
Sure.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So we were tasked with working with the theme of a creek. And when we looked through the state of, previously negotiated contracted vendors that were available, because we do need to, once again, be fiscally responsible, there were only a few vendors that were available that could give us a creek theme. And so we went with those. And it's also worth mentioning that Evelyn and Rochelle had a great deal of experience going through the design of the first playground, the Creekside tot lot there. So there were some lessons learned about manufacturers and what works and what doesn't work, and some play options. So they came down to these 2 vendors that we looked at, and we looked at different designs from both. So I think the process was appropriately wide enough, and we got some really good options here. I don't know, Evelyn, if you can speak to the detail about the different pieces. I don't know how much is fruitful.
Yes, so when I received the catalog from the manufacturer, some of these items, the 5 items that they provided they provided what it will do. It didn't say what abilities it's targeting, but it said what types of play it encourages. And I can go through, so the snippets that I provided, like the bongo panel lets kids make music on the playground, that's from their catalog. So I was able to snip that and provide it in the play area, and this is in the presentation. So for example, the bongo encourages the creation of games, rhythms, and songs. The braille and clock was labeled as an excellent opportunity for learning, and it provides collaborative play. So for the chimes reach panel, it's more incorporates musical play for all kids and all ages and abilities. So it could be for someone on a wheelchair or someone that's standing upright. So the marble panel, it's more of a tactile, it's auditory and visual. So one side spins and the other one's stationary. And then lastly, it's the image panel, and this is, it targets creativity. So you can just create images, letters, numbers.
Yeah, and this one really looks very easy to see the value. Mm-hmm. So what we are struggling with is we see the value for some really stand out.
Yeah.
Right? This actually shows not only just creativity, but also cognitive capabilities, how people can, and like the chair Stanek was mentioning, anybody can actually have fun with it. I can. Maybe it's not meant for me. I'm not very artistic, but it seems exciting that it looks at all age groups. So that's what we are looking at. Something like this, we are not. From the comments I'm hearing from the other commissioners, I am sensing that we don't see an equal value in all the 5 panels. And it seems like there's a big difference between this one and the marble thing. That is not the value of it is not entirely clear to some of us at least.
Yeah, and these are the only options available to us. So if, the other ones are not as valuable as the image panel, we could reduce it only to 2. Or
no, we can do 3. We can do more.
I'm actually familiar with the marble panel. I've seen it in other playgrounds.
Yeah, you should.
And what it is on one side it actually spins, so like all the marbles will move.
Oh.
So that's it. So it's loud and kids like that. On the other side, you can move all the individual marbles, and you can almost make patterns with them. So kids tend to like that as well. And so when they say it's tactile, it's a visual and also tactile thing on one side. So
that's
it's kind of both, which is kind of nice. So that's why I thought it was, okay, that's a reasonable thing, since I played with it.
It would be so helpful if the manufacturer just gave a quick video of these things. But it's fine. It's really, we're not arguing that it's not useful. We're just kind of weighing the pros and cons of all these different options. And knowing that it's only $1,500 per panel, maybe that's why we are feeling a little bit greedy about, can we have all 5?
Yeah, no, it's nice when something is not so outrageously expensive.
Right.
Commissioner Bush.
So do we have to recommend 3, or we can recommend 2, or?
So we're hoping that you would actually rank them, so that then we can go back and, like I said, right now we know we can get 3. If for some reason we figure out 5 isn't a problem, we can look into it. But that way we just know what your tops are.
Right.
Okay.
I'm ready to rank if everybody else is ready to rank.
I'm ready to rank as well. And if one last comment, if you don't have the ability to put all 5 on that ice, what did you say?
The rubberized
floor. Maybe we can take 2. You can put 2 of them in another location. Right? It's just more the merrier if it's possible for no greater cost.
Again, feedback is great. We can look into
it. I can look into it, and we can place it along the concrete walkway to make it easier, so we don't have to put in pour in place. So we just have to take it into consideration, and I'll reach out to the manufacturer and see if that's possible.
And I do want to call out and thank you all for looking into all these things and putting this together. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you did that few times, so that's good. But I think one question, I'm thinking, how does it compare to other cities where new play structures are coming along, and will they say, oh, Cupertino got something excellent, let's go there? Or is it like, oh man, it's the same thing, we got the similar stuff? What's the wow factor here?
So the wow factor for this particular play area would be the zip line and some of the lily pads and the cattail, including the in-ground spinner. So I looked at the other manufacturer that provided a design, and their in-ground spinner wasn't as elaborate as this one. So it was very basic. It didn't have any of the drawing panels of the trees and birds. Didn't have a cover over it. The other one was, yeah.
Yeah, cover. Are
Yeah.
we going to have cover over it?
Oh,
That's a good question.
No,
Be-
the in-ground spinner had covers.
Oh, no. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So the other area won't have any cover?
No, we won't have any.
The entire
shade
can't be.
structures.
It's pretty big, but
Yeah.
there's no, because I just may get, the usability time may increase with cover.
Yeah, so
On some areas.
here's the rendering. So this was more elaborate and more
Yeah.
designed.
Yeah.
It had the cover, it had the drawing panels, and then it has a
Right.
section for a wheelchair user. The other in-ground spinner that I looked at didn't have any of these.
Okay.
It just had the railing
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
I will mention also that through our master plan process, one of the biggest things we heard from the community if we were going to be redoing playgrounds was the inclusivity and then the themes.
Themes.
Were big, not just putting back in the same old playground
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah. Okay, I'm fine. I'm ready to
Yeah.
Okay.
rank. Okay.
Jessica,
Thank you.
or who wants to?
Susan will take the numbers, so
Susan.
it's up to you how you'd like to let the commissioners go. And just remember, your most wanted one is the 5.
Most wanted one is the 5. Okay. When you take all the, if we just start left
Yep.
to right, that works
Sounds
for
good.
me. Commissioner Swamy.
Yes, thank you. Image panel 5, Braille and clock panel 4, bongo panel 3, chimes reach panel 2, and marble panel 1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Sharon.
Okay, image 5, Braille 4, marble 3, bongo 2, and chimes 1. Thank you, Susan.
Okay. This is Chair Stanek. Image 5, marble 4, because my vice chair convinced me that it's a great thing. Chimes 3, Braille 2, and bongo 1.
Okay.
Commissioner Begor.
All right, so image 5, chimes 4, bongo 3, braille 2, and marble 1.
Okay. So bongo 5, I like music part. Image panel 4, chimes 3. Sorry, Sharon. Marble 2,
We're going to be the ones paying for that.
and Braille 1.
So, can we unveil the results?
One moment.
Sure.
Hopefully, can you see my screen?
happening.
Can you see the screen okay?
Yes, we can.
Great. So the clear winner is the image panel. Second is the bongo. And then marble was actually near the bottom. So
Do you need us to just weigh in to break the tie between Braille and chimes? Because they're 3 and 4 and they're exactly the same.
I will defer to Director Sander and Evelyn. How would you like to have that?
Sorry, I can't see. 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, she's not in front of the right computer. Yeah, because if we can only put in 3,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and just you can
So let's
decide
just
which one
go.
you like better.
Yeah, left to right. Commissioner Swamy?
Braille and clock because it has a cognitive.
Oh, can you turn on your mic, please?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Wrong. Press the wrong button. Braille and clock because it has a cognitive aspect and it seems like beyond age. So I like that better.
Okay. Vice Chair Sharon?
Braille and clock for the reasons that Commissioner Swamy said.
I'm going chimes. I like chimes.
I'm also going chimes.
Come on.
Well, I mean, I think I ranked chimes a little higher, so I can't be not going with it.
And we respect
go.
everyone's opinion. It was very close. Thank you all for your participation. Okay, I think we're done with that
I
item.
think you
Oh, we
made a
didn't-
mistake
did we
in
get any-
writing this. I think it's chime. You have put braille twice.
We did get.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because
I made a mistake.
Two of
Sorry.
you.
I get it. This
No
is
worries.
voting. Okay.
No worries.
I was, quasi voting on the fly here.
Okay, thank you for the presentation and for your patience, for all the questions. We have very inquisitive commissioners, and that is to their credit, and we appreciate the questions and the manner in which we provide the questions to our speaker.
Through the chair, really quickly, I just would like to clarify that so you don't get the presentations when the original agenda comes out, but you do get the presentations when Jessica sends out the full. So it should have been yesterday that you got all of the presentations.
yeah, we did. I read
what
through
I did
it.
today, 'cause I was specifically
I read
looking
through
for
it
it.
before. That's why I didn't see some.
Yeah, so if you ever don't see it, please let us know because we'd be
Multi-generational.
happy to get it to you again because sometimes it'll go in spam.
Yeah,
or
because
something
I
else.
go through that in detail, so I don't know what happened today. So
No
it's-
worries, but please feel free to reach out
Yes.
if you're.
Okay, I'll make a point of doing that. I was like completely shocked that I didn't see that. That's why I made that comment. Also, thank you for your time, Evelyn, and I apologize if you thought I was beating you up, but I
No.
was just asking questions.
Yeah, I
and
appreciate
I think
the
that's
questions.
my job, so I
Yeah.
will continue to do that, unfortunately.
Yes, please do.
Commissioner Bush already called me for thanking you way too many times. He actually made the comment, yes, enough.
Can we move along? This has been a very exciting topic. Okay. We will move on to new business, of which there really isn't any, but we can move to staff and commission reports. Does anyone have any commission reports? Vice Chair Sharon.
Just a couple attending sort of things. I attended the Cherry Blossom Festival this past weekend, which was fabulous, and thoroughly enjoyed it, especially the exhibits and things to buy and stuff like that. And of course, hopefully everyone has, but I also attended the online commissioners training. So, all set.
Anyone else? Commissioner Swamy, did you have a mayor's report?
I did have a mayor's report, and I just realized that I brought the wrong computer with me. I
Okay.
apologize. I was just looking through that. May I provide that either in an email format or
If you could email it to Jessica, she can get it out to all the commissioners.
I will do that.
Thank you.
This
That
is
would
not
be
for the
very
recent
helpful.
one, but the one before, because
Yes,
I missed
right,
that one. Yes,
right.
I have very detailed notes
Okay,
on
thank you.
that.
We appreciate
Yeah.
that. Okay, any other commissioner updates?
Yeah, so I did go to Cherry Blossom too. A lot of people actually, and it was pretty good. Didn't spend much time, but went around quickly. So that was good. Yeah, I mean, I think otherwise, wait, it's all okay. I'm okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have to. I'm sorry, I couldn't attend mayor's commissioner meeting. So I apologize, and I will make sure I just sign me up for some other. I think no excuse. There is one excuse, but I think I'll hold on to it.
And for my commissioner update, I decided a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I submitted a few pictures that I'd like to share with everyone. And if Jessica can share those for me. So I attended the Earth Day and Arbor Day, and here I am using pedal power to create a smoothie. And so there were a number of these different stations around. The smoothie was really good. And
The ingredients or the
we can-
peddling?
All of it. You use the calories and then you put them right back in your system. So that was fun. Next one, I think there's another one of me pedaling. It was really very fun. Next slide. This is a picture of the weeds out at our labyrinth at McClellan Preserve. And I took a day, and this was just one section that I decided I'm going to tackle this section today, and I pulled these weeds, and this is how it looked after I was done. Next picture. This is the stone that was placed in the middle of the labyrinth by a community member who loves the labyrinth, and I think I've talked about this particular one, so I took a picture of it to show to you today. And this is just for context. This is how the full labyrinth looks. No, this is how it looked today. I took this picture today. So yeah, it's been a year and a half since we first publicized it, and there's still a few weeds out there, but the really dense portions have gotten some loving care from yours truly. Next slide. This is out at the Monte Vista Dola. I've gone out there a couple of times because I actually wanted to see what was happening. In this picture, you can see there's a child there in the middle of all the dogs, and they're just having a good time. Next slide. This is another picture on a different day, showing this people and their dogs enjoying the Dola. Next slide. Is the next one our video?
There's a video. Do you want me to play the video?
Yes, go ahead. So the next one is the Cupertino Symphonic Band from the Earth Day and Arbor Day celebration. So that was the video, and it's in an open area, so that sounded pretty good right there. But they don't have the acoustics of a nice surround sound anything. So that's my commissioner report.
If anyone wants to do the bike blender, like Carol did, by the way, I'm putting in a plug for Bike Fest, which is in September. The bike blender will be there, and there's going to be other stuff too that you can all pedal power. So fun.
Director Sanders, would you like to give your update?
Okay, so I don't know if you've all noticed, but I have someone who's been sitting next to me at the last couple of meetings. So this is Jenny Coverman. She's a recreation supervisor, and she will actually be my backup liaison as we work through many things, and I have council meetings and everything else. Jenny will be here to be able to help support you in different ways. So you will see me most of the time, but if you don't see me, you'll see Jenny. So just wanted to give you guys that, and then Jenny's going to give you the rest of the update tonight.
Thank you, Rochelle. Look forward to working with you all. Our first update is about the community budget survey. The community is invited to participate in the community budget survey. It's open now through Wednesday, May 31st, and you can find that at cupertino.org. Preliminary responses submitted through May 16th will be shared during the City Council special meeting on the fiscal year 2023-24 proposed budget study session on May 17th. In addition, there's a budget town hall open to the community on Thursday, May 18th at 6:30 p.m. in person at Community Hall and online via Zoom. We do have a DOLA update. Due to the number of concerns and the community feedback at Monte Vista over the trial period, the Monte Vista DOLA will conclude this Saturday, May 6th. Staff is evaluating if there are other possibilities at that park. And the Linda Vista trial is still being evaluated, and so that will remain as is for now. Upcoming events, we have two. We have the Live Well, Age Well Health Expo. That is Friday, May 19th from 10 to 2 at the Senior Center. And then the Crest Awards ceremony is Thursday, May 25th at 5:30 here in Community Hall. And that's it.
Thank you very much. I did want to mention, Vice Chair mentioned the handbook training online, and I hope that everyone has done that.
Yeah, we did.
And turned in your certificate to staff.
I am delinquent.
Okay,
I will do
if
it
you
this
haven't,
weekend.
I'm just putting a plug. It would be nice to have everyone up to date on
I know,
handbook
I was
Right.
by
going to
our
do it,
next
right?
meeting.
Yeah, we're done.
So
we're
just a
done.
reminder, it's always good to get reminders.
You
especially
got
'cause
thank you note
put it
also.
away.
Yeah.
Okay, commissioner attendance at upcoming meetings. So we can look at the mayor's meeting. I know, but I'd like to look at the schedule for the next couple of months.
Yes. So for this month, we have Vice Chair Sheeran. For June 14th, we have Commissioner Begor. July 12th, we have Chair Stanek. And that is all we have on the calendar right now. So if we'd like to add anyone for the month starting in August,
I can do it. I
all right. Commissioner
promise to
Butt.
do it. Yeah. 100%.
And so one comment I'd like to make, if you determine that you can't make it to the mayor's meeting, please let staff know as soon as possible, and we will try to get someone else to attend the meeting. So we do have a representative there. Okay.
The only other thing to piggyback off that is I just want to let everyone know, Jessica, when she sends out the agenda emails, we'll be asking for attendance now, just so that we can make sure we have a quorum, because we don't want you all to have to come and then only 2 people show up and we have to send you home. So we just want to ensure each time that we have a quorum. So if you can respond to those and make sure that both the chair and Jessica know whether you will be here or not, that would be fabulous.
And if we could know that by Tuesday, that would help us plan.
Yes,
if
because we do
find-
have to post if we have to cancel early enough. So
Yeah.
thank you.
That would be good. Okay. And anything on future agenda?
Okay, before we move to the
can
future
we,
agenda, I can sign up for September.
Oh,
And if I need to, I don't know so far in advance about my travel schedule. If something happens, I will definitely switch with someone.
terrific.
But for now, just go ahead and put me up for September. Thank you.
All right.
Great.
Thanks, Commissioner Swami. I have you down for September 13th.
Yeah, I'll be out of country that week, so August is best for me. So other thing, you said new items? Can
Future
we talk?
agenda setting,
Okay.
if you would like to.
So I think one item I wanted to bring up is, I think I heard about it, and it kind of somebody explained me the Jollyman Park art project. Is that something we are going to discuss and review
Is this
here?
The art in lieu fees?
Yeah, at Jollyman Park.
No, so the art in lieu fee itself goes to City Council, and then the art itself will go to the Arts and Culture Commission.
Okay, so it's not coming to us.
No, sorry.
Okay.
You could listen to the Art and Culture Commission meeting or attend it.
No, it just sounded pretty good sculpture and.
I wanted to ask a question about whether we have this forum to doing that, because there were a couple of people in the Cupertino city that kind of came and asked me, and I did not have the answer to that. So I wanted to just bring it up to see if this is the right forum or not, or maybe it's put to bed altogether. The cost of the inclusive bathroom in Jollyman Center has been something that some of the citizens have been just kind of coming up and asking, why is it costing so much? And I said, I think it's already laid to bed for now. Is that true, or is there ever
I'll
a
let the
scope to
director
talk
address that.
about it?
Yeah, so that money and the way it's allocated is already set. However, anyone is welcome to speak with Susan Michael or email her. So the best thing to do currently, because these aren't actually agendized items, is to make sure you either reach out to Jessica and I, and we can let you know how to move forward, or if you know which city staff to reach out to, please let people know they can reach out.
So does that mean that we reach out, those people, or through them, for them, can reach out and put that as an agenda item, or what are we talking about?
No, so honestly, when it comes to the future agenda items, if it's not something under your purview, then, or it's something that's already done, then we wouldn't put it on an agenda. But you are welcome to reach out to Jessica and I and ask that question, or ask who, like if they're asking more about the subject, city staff is always happy to speak with the community and let them know what's going on.
Right. I'm happy to do that. They were just wondering what the per square footage sounds like because it's over 800.
Yeah,
plus.
so go ahead and email us or email Susan, and we'd be happy to
I
help
will.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. If
This is so helpful to have city staff educate us on the process, and thank you for entertaining the questions and telling us about the process.
Okay, if there's nothing, that's the last item on our agenda. So we'll adjourn the meeting at 8:45 p.m. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everyone.